Hey friends, glad to see you guys. It's probably been rough on you guys, huh? Well, you're here, so sit down, take a seat, and enjoy yourself. Today, I want to talk to you guys about reevaluating and reinventing yourselves. Because that's what I've been doing. Your girl, Lady Raw, has put myself on a whole screen, full body, and been reevaluating myself step by step, breaking down every little part of me. Been taking time to myself, doing some deep thoughts, deep thinking, deep meditation. Had the team in the lab, my higher self, my team, and just breaking down everything about myself. Thoughts, behaviors, reactions, from a youngin' to now. And what I've realized is, and maybe you can relate, when you're growing up, when you're small, you're sort of programmed, you're sort of shaped by your environment, your parents, your surroundings, people you grew up with, etc., right? You start to develop a sense of who you think you are based on what people tell you, based on who you think is cool or popular, based on whatever your parents kind of shape you into, right? Well, for most of us, we didn't grow up in a positive home environment, positive family environment. We weren't taught to, you know, think about who we are, who we want to be based on what we felt inside. Maybe like career wise, okay, who you want to be when you grow up, what do you want to be when you grow up. But while we're growing up, who's teaching us how to be ourselves? Who's teaching us, hey, love yourself? It's okay to be yourself. What are your natural feelings about certain places, things, or people, right? And especially if you grow up in like the hood, like most of us, you're around hood shit. You're around drug dealers, killers, thugs. So you think that's cool. We're around people who are more into materialistic things like clothing, looks, all of that. So we want to be popular. We want to look like them, right? We pick our friends like that, or they pick us. So as I was reevaluating myself, I'm like, okay, I've spent a lot of time, years, sort of creating myself based on what other people thought, what other people said, how other people treated me, and things like that. Not really thinking about, okay, what do I think is cool? How do I feel about life? How do I feel about myself? Start there. What do I want to be? What type of person do I want to be? Until now, 33. And I say that now because now it's to a point where, okay, who do you want to be outside of what you've been told to be, outside of what you've been molded to be? Who do you want to be, just you, based on all the lessons you've learned, all the mistakes you've made, based on the awareness that you now have? Who do you want to be? Drake has a song. It's called Can I? In the song, he says, before I turn the lights off, Tell me who you want to be. So I asked myself, before it's all done, before the lights are off, and you're gone up to wherever you're going, who do you want to be? Who do you really want to be? Now listen, there are different versions of ourselves, right? You got how you are at work, which most of the time it's not an environment where you can really be all of yourself. You know, for the most part, you're yourself, but you know, you're kind of, you sort of put on a costume. It was one day at work, I stood outside and I could see, my reflection as I was standing by the street, and I'm just, taking a breathe, just, taking in nature. But I was looking at myself. And I had this long wig on, right? And I was just staring at my reflection. And I was like, okay, yeah, she might be cute on the outside, right? But who is this person I'm looking at? Who is that girl I see? Who is this? Who is this I'm looking at? And I realized it was a version of myself, but I said to myself, this looks like a costume. Not that I looked fake or that I didn't recognize myself, but it wasn't the true, authentic me that I was looking at that time. I was like, okay, cool. We have versions of ourselves. We have to be a certain way at work, right? But then when I get home, what do? I take all of that off, girl. Wigs come off, jewelry, it goes off. And sometimes I just look in the mirror and I be like, wow, hey girl, I see you. But it's different. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of tripped me out a little bit. Like, okay, I put on this full armor, this full costume. And don't get me wrong, it makes me feel better. Because if I go to work looking like how I be sweats and shirts with no bras and, hair just whatever, I probably wouldn't get no work done, honestly. But I do all this. I do like looking good, don't get me wrong, but this isn't needed to be me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to put a wig on. I don't have to put on these nice clothes, jewelry, or whatever. It's not needed to be me. No. It's a costume. Then I thought about, how I am around my family. They get a version of me. And they get a real version of me. I'm not fake, right? But it's still a version of me. It's not the full me. The full me is at home, around my children, where it's just me. And I know that's how a lot of you guys are. You might get the full version, at home with your loved ones, your spouse or whatever, but they still get a version as well. They might get a more authentic version than everyone else does, but the point I'm getting to is we have all these versions of each other, of ourselves. And for the most part, we have these versions of ourselves around certain people because we're not necessarily comfortable or taught to be comfortable being our true, authentic, unapologetic selves. Think about that. When you're young, your parents mold you, as I was just saying, your environment molds you. Then you get a little older, your surroundings, your friends, and you get into religion. Religion molds you to be a certain way. Depending on how programmed we are, society molds us. The media, social media, it molds us. It programs us. And I'm not trying to make it sound bad or negative, but it's just real. That's the truth. That's how we all are. Based on what other people think, what other people say is cool or not cool or acceptable. Well, what do you accept? What's cool to you? What do you like? How do you feel about you? Who do you want to be before the lights go off? Before your time is up? Who do you want to be? This is the time now where people are forced to sit down, people are forced to face themselves, and a lot of people are running from it. But take this time and really think. And you're never too old, right? Because a lot of people, oh, you get a certain age, you get set in your ways. To a certain extent, right? Yeah. But my ultimate goal is to experience freedom like never before. And freedom in a sense to where what other people say and think of me doesn't really affect me. Doesn't really affect me to the point where I feel like I have to either dumb down who I am or what I say, or be extra or fake or manipulative. You know what I'm saying? It's such a freedom to where it doesn't affect how I feel about me, because I know my heart, I know my mind, I know how I feel, I know my intentions. You know what I'm saying? And that type of freedom of just being yourself and loving yourself, being aware of all your flaws, accepting them, knowing what they are, changing them if you feel like they need to change, dropping them, you know what I'm saying? They'll drop on their own, either way it go. But the more aware, the more freedom you really feel to be you and be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what I respect about, the elderly, when they get to a point where they just talking reckless, like cussing, but they giving you real, raw stories or information. Oh, that warms my heart. That brings me so much joy, because it's like they just letting it all hang out. And I'm like, why can't we be like that? Every day, everywhere, around anyone. Because we're so programmed and we care so much about what other people think that sometimes it makes us hate who we are. It makes us dislike who we truly are, how we really feel, how we really are. Your true self, it just naturally comes out. You know what I'm saying? And if your natural self offends someone, then like Anthony says, that's their problem. Why should my natural self offend you? And why should your natural self offend me? If that's how you feel and that's how you are, that's how you act, that's how you talk, that's how you think, be free to be you, boo-boo. Because I'm going to be free to be me. And we don't have to agree, but we don't have to fight either. It don't have to be a whole war. But we're so controlling. And we're so programmed to do the norm, what's cool, what's popular. Celebrities being canceled because they real people, because we put them on such a high pedestal, it's ridiculous. We got fake leaders out here. I was doing some research on Buddha, and his name was something else. I don't remember, but it was talking about before he passed, his disciples, he told them, don't follow any other God. Follow your own enlightenment. I was just like, whoa. But what happened is when he died, they made a whole religion out of him. He didn't ask for that. Just like I don't think Jesus asked for that. He didn't come and say, all of you need to be Christians. Christianity came after Jesus Christ died, after he was crucified. Man did that. They do these things most of the time to be real, to control, to have power, to manipulate, excuse me, I can't talk tonight, to manipulate people and to mold them into doing what they want and what they think they should do. But if we're following our own enlightenment, which we all have right to do, we all have that higher self within us. If you just tap into it and deprogram, it's beautiful. It's truly beautiful. And the things that are not, we can change them. What happens is it hurts too much to change. It's too inconvenient. We don't want to make time. We don't want to face what is. We don't want to accept what is. We don't want to talk about what is. Because it's a problem. And it shouldn't be a problem, y'all. It really shouldn't be a problem. Your true self should not be a problem for other people. So if you're not causing physical harm, emotional harm, it shouldn't be like that. If we're all in control of our own emotions and thoughts the way we should be, but the fact is we're not. And that's why we're so offended. And that's why we're so butthurt when our expectations aren't met, when our desires aren't met, when you're not acting and saying and thinking the way I think you should be, the way I want you to be to soothe me, to satisfy me. That's when we at war. That's when anger comes. That's when we're fighting over foolishness. Think about this, because I had an aha moment. When we're upset, when things bother us, when they don't go the way we think they should go, when people aren't acting the way we think they should act, the way we want them to act or react, what is our first reaction? Self-sabotage. Can you believe that? Think about that. You upset me, so I'm so upset, I'm going to go do something to harm myself. Because you said something or you did something that I didn't like, I'm going to harm myself. I'm going to go drink. I'm going to go smoke. I'm going to go snort, do drugs. I'm going to go eat, gluttony. I'm going to go sex everything I see. Because the feelings in me, I don't like, and I want to numb them. But I'm hurting myself. These things hurt you physically. Your body physically hurts, is harmed. Drinking, smoking, sexing, eating too much. Whatever. That hurts. It physically hurts your body. Then you got health issues, chemical imbalances going off. Think about that. Think about that. Yeah, I had to think about that. Oh, I'm in my feelings. Oh, I'm in my emotions. I'm upset. Let me go eat some ice cream. We get our heart broken. Let me go eat a gallon of ice cream. Girl, you lactose. Girl, that's a bunch of sugar. Girl, you gonna have diabetes. Eating all them sweets because you emotional. What? Don't get me started on the chemical imbalance these foods have that we're eating. Not on this episode. But just think about that, guys. We purposely harm ourselves based on other people. What they say, what they think, how they act. That's crazy, y'all. Why don't we love ourselves enough to give ourselves the good things for our bodies, to make us feel good, physically, mentally? There are certain foods that women can eat when we're on our cycle, because that's something we can't control, right? But there's certain foods and stuff we can eat so the cycle won't be so heavy and we won't be so crazy. Yeah. But instead, we're so programmed to go to the junk, things that are not good for us. When we're drinking, we're not necessarily drinking to have a good time. Think about that. You don't need alcohol to have a good time. If you're naturally having fun with the people you love or want to be around, you don't need alcohol for that. But you got to get to you got to numb down the hurt, the pain, the suffering. So the alcohol can give you the false feeling of happiness. The weeds. And I used to smoke, y'all. So I know all about it. Dollar know all about it. The weeds have to calm all of that down to give you a false sense of happiness, of freedom, of peace that you can naturally have, that you have the right to naturally have. That's what I'm getting to. That's my goal for myself. Wean myself off of, liquor, the weeds. Because honestly, my body started really rejecting those things. Even certain like junk foods and stuff I be trying to eat, my body be like, girl, we're trying to get you to a place. I don't know why you keep trying to eat these things that aren't good for us. And it don't make you feel better. You suffering right after. You on the toilet, your stomach hurt. Now you can't move, you can't work, you can't do nothing. Why you do this to yourself? Why you don't love yourself? Why, y'all? I want to read you something. This is Anthony DeMello's book, The Way to Love. He says, look at your life and see how you have filled its emptiness with people. As a result, they have a stranglehold on you. See how they control your behavior by their approval and disapproval. They hold the power to ease your loneliness with their company, to send your spirits soaring with their praise, to bring you down to the depths with their criticism and rejection. Take a look at yourself, spending almost every waking minute of your day placating and pleasing people. Whether they are living or dead, you live by their norms, conform to their standards, seek their company, desire their love, dread their ridicule, long for their applause, meekly submit to the guilt they lay upon you. You are terrified to go against the fashion in the way you dress or speak or act or even think. Observe the control that you depend on and how they have enslaved you. I said, Anthony, what you talking? That's when I really did some reevaluating, guys. Like, I have been a people pleaser for a long time. Because I just want everybody to love me, everybody to accept me, everybody to want me. That's how we are. And hey, that it is what it is, right? Everybody should love everybody. Everybody should accept everybody for who they are. Everybody should, want to be around each other and be happy to be around each other, right? But in the expense of your own happiness, your own peace, the sense of false peace, false happiness, is it worth it? Is it worth self-sabotaging yourself for a company, for the approval? And it's worse with family. Certain people in our family, you better not say certain things. Let me be quiet. Let me not say nothing. Let me not do this, wear this, religious groups, All the things, y'all. And to be quite honest, I don't know about you, but I'm tired. The ancestors are tired. We tired. I'm tired. Really, really tired. It takes a lot of energy to keep that stuff up. It takes a lot of energy to be fake. It takes a lot of energy not to be able to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you don't know yourself. Then when you do get to know yourself, like I have begun to do, you be like, I don't feel like being fake no more. I don't feel like being around like that. And it's not like, it's not a negative thing. You know what I'm saying? But because some people, we become so dependent and codependent on each other and attached to each other, the other people might get offended if you don't want to come around. If you just want to be to yourself or just want to relax and chill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some gatherings and groups, we'd be like, oh, I don't feel like going, but let me go because I don't want to seem like I'm acting funny or I don't want nobody getting upset. That's crazy. Why we do these things? And we tell ourselves it make us happy to make them happy, but you're not because you didn't want to go. So, I'm not going to be before you long. Ask yourself, challenge yourself. Leave some comments, y'all. If y'all feel this way or disagree or whatever, leave some comments. Let's talk. Let's interact. Let's have a dialogue. I respect everyone's opinion. That's why I love talking to my sister sometimes because we be having different views on things, but I love to hear different stuff. I watch so many different podcasts you would never believe I would listen or like the stuff I listen to. Because I like to hear different people's perception on things and, you know, especially men and women. Like, I love it. I love it. And we don't always have to agree. And I love to hear, you know, different opinions. Even if I don't agree, I don't have to be upset about it. It's nothing to be, oh, you know what I'm saying? But I want us to be free to be ourselves. Self-awareness, self-love. I want the freedom to do that. I want you to have the freedom to do that. I want our children to have the freedom to do that. And especially in a world where we barely accept it, your own home should be the main place where you should be able to be free to express yourself, to do whatever. But you really should be able to do that wherever you go. So, I'm going to leave you with that. Until next episode, do some reevaluating. Change what needs to be changed. Let go what needs to be let go. But love yourself. Be kind to yourself. Treat yourself right. Listen to your body. Listen to your heart. I love you guys. Talk to you later. Bye.